Hi, and we're live again with my 15-minute snappy chats on LinkedIn, which I just love doing, and I've been doing them since January, and I'm going to continue next year. Why do I do this? By the way, I'm Christine Bell. I always forget to introduce myself. I'm Christine Bell. I'm a customer strategist. We're not going to be talking about that. We're going to be talking to the wonderful Tabatha. Is that how I say it correctly? Did I say it correctly? Tabatha. I always get the names incorrectly. I should always ask beforehand, and I never do. I forget. But hey, we're live. We are normal. We are human beings. And this is what it's all about. So the reason I started these snappy chats is that I found in 8 years in business that it gets like a really lonely ride, especially if you're a one-man band or two-man band. And the thing is, we can all learn from each other because most of us are going through the same challenges in business. So why not get together and learn from each other? And this is what I'm all about. So with this in mind, I love to tell you about my wonderful new guest here who I met through the Hounds of Business community, which is a wonderful community that is based out of America, but it's worldwide. And I met the wonderful Tabatha. Is that correct now?
Yes,
did I say it correctly? Excellent. There through this this community, and shout out to Mike Asperner as well for setting up that community. But over to you, Tabatha. I love what you do. You're all about keeping kids safe. And in this world that we're living in with all the technology available and kids having access to all sorts of places and adults having access to kids in all sorts of ways, this is more important than ever. So please tell me a little bit more about you and what you do.
Oh, this is cool. Thank you so much. And I'm so glad you answered that question, the snappy chat. I love this name. I love the name you've chosen. So for me, my name is Tabatha Barron. I am the founder of Keeping Your Kids Safe. I actually designed a platform that allows each child to effectively communicate their way home because my niece got misplaced in a mix-up during school dismissal. And she was missing for about an hour and a half. To actually listen to my mom's voice not be okay, knowing that this child is missing, that was not a sound or a tone that I ever wanted to hear again. So in order for me to say, do something, I have to at least show up to provide another solution or give a hand in a group of people who are struggling just to keep it together every day. So that's what I chose to do. For our program, our platform, walkers and bikers, car riders, childcare bus riders, and yellow bus riders all get scanned off of an elementary school campus, which actually gives the parents a heads up, letting them know they're on their way to their next destination. It also gives parents an opportunity to say, no, don't send my kid that way. And they're able to call the school before the phones get turned off. So this is the reason why I do what I do. And I am so excited to be here and have that conversation with you.
I just love what you do, and it's so important. And I'm not a parent, but I cannot even imagine what it would be like to not know where my child is at and not being able to get in contact with any of the people or places that this child is supposed to be at. That is just a frightening experience. So I'm so glad your niece was okay, and we're okay, and I'm loving what you're doing. So I really appreciate that, and we'll definitely talk more about that. I just want to shout out to Mike. He's here listening in.
Hey,
and
Mike.
Hey, Mike. And Dr. Newt is also here. So thank you for showing up. We really appreciate you guys.
Yes, I love her. So I think these people are very awesome. Hey, Randy. Hey, you know what? Mike, I'm going to say that gum. I don't even think I said it right. That gum. So that means we would have to drink if we were on the Hounds. So, hey, Mike, that shout out for you.
I love that. I'm not even going to try and pronounce it with my Danish accent. We're just not going to go there.
Right.
But back to talking a little bit about business as well. What is one of the big challenges you face building a business that we can all learn from?
You know, I think mostly where I struggle the most is the emotional connection. And that is so necessary for sales and marketing. So at the end of the day, every single business needs sales and marketing. The days of all you need is a phone and a business card no longer exist. You have to market yourself and your business. And those are
very true.
Tremendously.
And it's so true. We live in a world that is so busy. You know, we're just over bombarded with information and things happening in our life and on the news and on social media all day.
Yes.
Yeah. And with this in mind, it's so hard to cut through. And it's also, we don't have much time as human beings to actually make decisions. Yeah. And by the end of the night, what happens is I don't know about you, but I don't remember much by the end of the night, what I've seen, been exposed to on social media, who did a great post there, who wanted me to watch this. It's just like overwhelming. Yeah. So on top of that, we then asking ourselves in business, we have to connect with people who are exactly in the same frame of mind. Yeah.
Yes.
Which leads us to make really fast and emotional decisions most of the time, which is to your point. How do we cut through that and connect really quickly emotionally with people? Yeah.
Yes, because my whole entire thing with that is that, and this is one of the, I think maybe some people might resonate with it, but for me, every time a school or someone in a position to make a decision does not make a decision to prevent an incident like our incident, that means that there is one or two children that day from that school that will potentially have a traumatic experience that may not take their lives, and it may just scare them enough to not want to show up to school the next day. So people not making decisions when they could make decisions means somebody can die, or someone has a traumatic experience that did not have to be. And that's why for me, I get really, people are like, you're so passionate. I do not wish to lose a child unnecessarily. How many times have we done things and we're just like, if we wouldn't have done that, the consequences wouldn't have been so big that how can I overcome that? Right. So.
And it makes total, I totally hear what you're saying, because what's happening, I think, possibly the people that you need to get in touch with who are with your children is they're going through the same as all of us. Yeah. Their life is busy. We don't know what's going on in their personal life. They have all these other things going on in their life, and they may not be paying attention. This is what, like you said, this is what things happen when things go wrong, is when we are too busy and we are just go, go, go. And we don't stop to think and slow down and go, okay, one thing at a time. Is this child safe right now? Where does this child need to go? And having that time for the individual as well. I think in this world we live in, often there's no time for the individual. But the truth is, with sales and marketing, going back to that, is people don't care about other people. They want us to talk to them individually, to reach them individually. And that's the hard part,
Yes, because scientists who have figured out that when you are all about logic and science and you're looking at how the trends work and things like that, I'm saying, okay, you have a problem, I have a solution, let's talk. But what I've been met with in a lot of cases is that you have to market yourself in a way that allows that conversation to be easier to approach. But for me, again, it always goes back to, but if you guys don't make a decision, that kid is not going to make it home. And then that's something, and that's $1 million out of your pocket. Because I don't think the parents realize every time they lose a child, you should actually contact a lawyer and push back. Because it's never the incident that is the problem. It is always the next thing that they do that actually creates more of the problem. And so, but trying to connect emotionally, I struggle with, because I'm on the science of things. I'm on the logic of things. So for me, I'm like, logically speaking, this seems like this is realistic. I put insurance on my car. I need to put things in position to not have those mistakes made. Right. That's where I live, but that's not where the emotional connect is.
Yeah. And the truth is, I think science has shown that 90% of the time we are making emotional decisions, and only 10% of the time do we actually access our ability to think rationally. And we all have access to it if we slow down.
This is true. If we slow down.
So maybe one of the things, and I'm not saying I have the answer for you right here and everything, but, I'm wondering, is one of the things that we can learn here is how can we not just connect emotionally with people, but also how can we stop them in their track to slow down and just be more rational in that second. Yeah,
but I think it's a little bit more to that. I am not wired for the marketing side of things. I'm not wired for the sales side of things. I was actually created to be in the background, right? I was created to actually be the, like Sia, the Tasmanian devil behind the scenes, right? I was always curated to be that person. What's happening now is I'm being forced to acknowledge and experience things that are different. So what I do, I'm not going to say I'll never learn marketing and sales. What I will say is that I'm learning it differently. And then as soon as I get an opportunity, I will fill the gap with someone who is better at it. Because building a team and building a business does not mean that everything begins and ends with you forever. It just means it begins and ends with you at the beginning. And then when you notice your gaps, you start gathering people and putting them in those gaps so that then you look so much smarter in the whole entire scheme of things.
That is so on point what you're saying right there. We start a little business. We think, I'm just going to create a business. And we have an area expertise we're really passionate about. And we go all in. And then we realize, holy moly, I need to learn all these other extra things because I can't afford to hire someone in right now. Yeah.
That's exactly correct. And you are said it perfectly. All these little things, because when you're working, somebody hires you in a position, they are responsible for giving you everything necessary in order for it to make your job a success. When you create the job, you have to learn all of the things that you need to hire for. And those are all of those positions that you do not hold and is strong in. And that's the difference for sure.
Yeah. And that is the joy of starting a business and building a business. All of us are going through it. And it was one of the reasons why I started Snappy Chat and I started reaching out to more people, and why I love the Hounds of Business, because there are so many different experts in that group and on LinkedIn. But here we at least have a group where we connect more with each other. And so what I'm learning now is I'm learning from different people. I still have to do the stuff myself until I can afford someone. But I am learning that I can get expertise from others and just learn, by having chats with people. And then I'm also learning another thing is that, I don't know if you've done that, sometimes with the right people, I will trade services.
Yes.
And I found that really handy in the areas where I need some help. Yeah. Yes. And I realized when I meet someone I align with and I go, holy moly, you got something I want. I got something you want. Let's work it out.
This is very, very true. There's one thing I want to touch on, because I think what you're saying is absolutely correct. But the one thing I want to say is this. Sometimes I think that it's not necessarily that we can't, yes, financially, we may not be able to afford it, but it's actually to our benefit. If we were able to afford everything all at once at the very beginning, we would not be able to grow as effectively and as efficiently and as powerfully as we are now, because we're having to do those other positions. So sometimes I realize that I was like, oh my gosh, I can't afford this. Oh, I don't have this money. And, of course, Catherine says you need to reframe what you're saying to yourself, right?
Yeah.
That also inside that conversation, I kind of realized that it's actually a blessing in disguise, because had I not been able to learn that marketing is not my strong suit, I would not understand my brand voice in order to give it to someone else to show me how to market my voice properly in a way that will convert.
That is so true. What a fantastic point you bring up there. We actually do learn from having to do things that we're not comfortable with. And it actually helps us to grow and go outside our comfort zone as well, which is really important for the mindset as well when you build a business. And also what I think you're saying is, once we know the key parts and we learned it and we hand it over to others, we stay in charge to some extent. We're not doing it all, but we know and we understand what we would like from people to do for us. Yeah.
That is exactly correct. You cannot do that. You cannot ask somebody to do something that you have no clue how to get it done.
Exactly. And that's such a great point. I just we got so many people here from the Hounds. I really appreciate it. We got Mike, we got Nu, we got Randy, we got Claudia, we got so many comments on here. So thank you guys. Nice. And I've also got Mark. Thank you for being here. Fantastic. Thank you so much for being here. We're going to finish up now. Before we finish, and I love this conversation, everything you had to say, and I carry on forever, but this is 15 minutes Snappy Chat, so I've got to hold myself accountable too. Please share a little bit about where people can reach you, and if you've got anything to promote, feel free to promote it as well.
Oh, I thank you so much, Kristen. Kristen. Oh, geez.
Christine, it's all good.
Everybody's like Kristen. All you people with the K's and the C's, y'all are killing me. And I know as soon as they read this, as soon as they hear this, they're going to know exactly who they are. Because good Lord, it makes my head hurt. But okay, so I do thank you very much for being here, for allowing me to be here. So you can find me on LinkedIn. Most days you will find me on LinkedIn. Look for me there. Keep hashtag #KYKSFIRST. Keeping your kids safe first is what that means. I do a program on Tuesdays at 1 p.m. Eastern time. and it's called Save Our Kids, where we put together a bunch of business owners who are working to help our children, the families, and the schools and the programs that they created. I actually created a LinkedIn Live for like a 30-minute chat about breaking through the contradictions, where we review and evaluate all of those contradictions that we pass on to our children and how they negatively can impact a child's growth and development. And then, of course, if you want to hang out with me in networking and be part of a mastermind, I actually run an H7 Her Mastermind at 1 p.m. Eastern time. It's the first and third Wednesday of every month. This is awesome.
I love it. I love what you do. I love your mission. I love the hat that you have for keeping kids safe. It is one of the probably the most important thing, and also working on their mindset too. So I love that. So thank you so much for being on here. We have 15 minutes, or actually almost 16 minutes. So we're going to finish now. So thank you so much for your time. And thank you for everyone who showed up too. We
Thank
just
you.
love that. Thank you. And here we sit and wave until it goes.